As Andrew says, I am a middle-aged businessman, 45 years old. I have one wife, 2 children, and my primary company is Speedy Couriers. I started 15 years ago. I have a couple of other companies, a few other companies actually, but Speedy is probably the most recognisable, and one of the other IT companies. Anglo Far East is the company I represent, and it's that hat that I'm going to wear for the first part of this session. And the second part of the session will be on behalf of Joseph Well System, which is a business system that allows ordinary people to basically collect a gold coin every month, but also to earn an income from inviting other people to save a gold coin every month. So on the one side, my presentation, the first one, will actually educate you a little bit about gold, because who wants to bother collecting a gold coin every month? I mean, you might as well go and collect baseball cards or something else like that. It might be a lot cheaper. There should be a good reason why you might be interested in gold. And so with that, I will wear my Anglo hat and give you a little bit of a background into the times that we're in. And at some points I'll go quite quickly, but that's okay, because you can come back and ask me about those points afterwards. I don't want to bog down too much in some of the slides. I want to try and keep it moving reasonably well, but you will definitely get the gist of what it is we're talking about. So yes, tonight's subject is about primarily gold. Quite simply, there's less than 1 ounce for every person on the earth. Less than 1 ounce. In fact, in a population that's, 6.4 billion, rushing to 7, the amount of gold, technically, that used to sit in banks has now been surpassed by ordinary people like you and me, who go and own, if I can find it in here somewhere. Every time I go out somewhere, I always accuse the people of stealing my gold coin. You know, I pass this round. This is a 1 ounce gold coin. It's you'll feel the weight of it when you pass it round. That gold coin. If you were to break that into a 12 kilo bar, a good delivery bar, to give you some idea, this is a bar of silver. You can pass this one round. This is a 5 kilo bar. That is what we call a good delivery bar, serial numbered bar. 12 kilos, so you can imagine that would sit beside that. It would be like twice the size. So when you see those guys carrying these bars and putting them into the vaults, you can understand that that's what a 5 kilo bar actually feels like, and double that and add some more on top for what we call a good delivery bar. So most people can't afford to buy one of those bars. As I said to one chap last year that wanted to buy a bar off us, he wanted to, I don't mind. I don't think he quite realised what he was saying. Around about $500,000. And I said to him the other day, I ran into $750,000 in New Zealand dollars. In other words, it's gone up $250,000 in the last year. And so when you want to understand the sort of value through the times, through the centuries, gold has been the money of kings. Gold was never the sort of thing that was owned by ordinary people. It's important to understand that even today, nothing much has changed. Gold is basically not owned by ordinary people. Silver was certainly owned, but gold was really the money of kings. And so we're in a situation today where we're watching financial turmoil rush through the world. We can watch in the last 20 odd years, we've seen some exciting things happen in gold. I think I was a teenager, 1981. I was a teenager, about 18, 19 years old, and we all watched how gold spiked up briefly to $850 odd. The average price that month was $666. Inflation adjusted today, that's a couple of $1,000 on one inflation measure. On a more fair inflation measure, it's probably more like $6,000. So when people say we've only just recently passed the old high of gold, you've got to understand that everyone would agree, if you're my age or older, $1 today did not buy as much as $1 back then. And so if you're saying, well, gold has at $1,000 passed in reality, gold will have to be a lot more to actually beat what it did back then. And you'll notice that in that final run, classic with most gold bull markets or charging markets, there's this final massive spiking blow-off, which in recent times we've watched constant pullbacks. They have a saying, healthy markets breathe, up, down, where bubbles just blow up and up and up and then pop. And that's it. They pop. They crash. Gold hasn't even got going. We watched it go up to 1,000. We watched the events of last year occur, but then immediately it just turned round. It's interesting to watch last year. Of all the various asset classes, there were only a couple of asset classes, I think coal and gold, that exceeded, their value that they started the year off. Warren Buffett, certainly the richest man or was, has now watched half his fortune drop to 37 billion. The Dow that was 14,000 has dropped 50% down to 7,000. There isn't too much that hasn't lost a major chunk of the value it had prior to the events of the last year, which have been quite momentous in economic times. Yet gold has quickly charged back. People ask when gold drops, oh, why isn't gold doing what it's supposed to in rough times and rescue and save me and be valuable still? But in truth it has. There was an initial bit of fear, but then it turned round and shot up. You also have to understand, and I know I don't want to lose anybody too much here, people have asked often, why did gold even begin to... when everything hit the fan, so to speak, why didn't gold just take off? And to best understand that is to probably flick over to a market maker trading program which I've got running live care of the internet here, and I've got a few hundred ounces in silver at the moment. You can see my total equity value up there. I've got a couple of thousand rolling over at the moment. And when you go into a market maker program, through paying a premium, you can take control of an awful lot of ounces.